What's the authentic state of Black entrepreneurship? Forbes The Culture is checking in with Black entrepreneurs across industries to find out.
I think right now is a super exciting time for Black entrepreneurs.
I think that it's definitely growing and advancing. There's a lot of inroads to be made and a lot of growth to be had.
With social media and the ability to put your product and your brand directly in front of your target audience, I think that's changed so many things for us. So it's super exciting to see so many Black entrepreneurs take advantage of this opportunity that we have now to build our brands independently.
I think it's been so exciting to see the momentum that's happening behind the state of Black entrepreneurship today. You know, even in the last few years, you've seen some incredible Black-owned businesses really come to the forefront. And those businesses are really paving a path for a whole new generation.
I think it gives us a little more freedom to create in the way that we want to create. And it's super exciting. I'm seeing so many different Black entrepreneurs launching their clothing and apparel and fashion brands and utilizing the power of social media to get it out there.
It requires a lot of work, but that also means a blueprint has not been laid. A foundation has not been laid. So that means that we have to up our game, up our ante, be innovative, keep our fingers on the pulse of what the tribe needs, meaning our community needs.
You know, what's the state of Black entrepreneurship in this industry? We are really trailblazers, and we try to be humble about it, but at the same time, we still have to recognize the work that we're doing and the work that still needs to be done.
The numbers are Black women make up 14% of the US population. We are 42% of women entrepreneurs who are creating businesses. So we're the largest population of women developing businesses. And yet still, we receive less than 1% of funding. So anybody who can look at numbers and read numbers will say that there is inequity in that and how that matches up. What we're not talking about is how do we groom, not just give individuals funding, but how do we groom more CEOs? How do we help to understand how you build and develop a business? What are the goals of that business? Do you endeavor to create a legacy brand that you will own and operate for generations? Or do you endeavor to sell that business? Those are fundamental questions that I think a lot of entrepreneurs may not necessarily be challenged and asked. And that's because mentorship is key.
It's pretty consistently not great. There tends to be not enough diversity really anywhere that I've been. And I think that the thing to remember, diverse teams perform better, right? And so when we don't have diversity, yes, for me personally, crashing into those glass ceilings again and again is very frustrating. But even worse is the outcomes for these companies.
It's a matter of, okay, do these high net worth individuals, do these investors actually want to invest in us? And I think that's actually the bigger question is who's doing the investing and are they willing? Why is it that, women are creating the most businesses currently to date, but we're receiving the least amount of funding? Like that doesn't match up to me.
Our path was a little different. It was unique where we found funding really quickly. But just having conversations with others and seeing some prominent Black founders out there that haven't found capital yet, we can say that it's getting better, but it needs to improve. I would say that, some of the things that happened in the press has driven more people to come to the space and driven higher budgets for giving Black capital to Black entrepreneurs. But I would say that we definitely can improve that from my perspective.
I see a lot of those same type of stories with other different Black founders that even if the bank does give them an offer, the terms are terrible. The access to the venture capital type of funding has been limited for us. And I think that there does need to be a more concentrated effort on giving those type of opportunities to Black founders.
But there's a long, long way to go until, the capital that's going into Black-owned businesses is actually reflective of the population of Black people in America.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of Black founders, especially in my space, when it comes to the apparel industry, I think a lot of us have some issues with being accepted as legitimate brands. You know, when we don't have the European designer backing or that name, it seems as if we aren't taken seriously.
Always just be ready to kind of, understand the numbers in your business. That is very important to investors. Like, understand every element and every aspect of the numbers in your business.
I think it's great to have a plan. It's great to have projections. It's great to kind of be forward thinking. But obviously you have to be nimble as an entrepreneur. That's one of the key skill sets that you have to be nimble, and you have to, in being nimble, you have to, be able to think strategically and creatively at the same time in order to impact business.
I think we're still in a place where we have to be twice as good just to have any level of acceptance in our respective fields. So I think that, there has to be a certain fearlessness with Black founders of saying, hey, I'm going to embrace this. I'm going to put myself out there, and knowing that because of that, I may alienate, myself and my brand and my company from a particular segment of the market, but hoping that the people who do rock with it will support and even like overcompensate for what we know is the reality of our society.
I would say within every industry, whether it's beauty, food, doctors, I think there's still a sense of competition, and women love to claim collaboration over competition, but I don't know if that's necessarily the case, right? There's a saying like, oh, Black girls are trending, but like, we don't have to be trending if we all uplift each other, because when the attention leaves from one woman, it can just be brought to the next if we're all rising together.